Can anyone guess how many fires in the United States happen every year? Anybody?
At least one.
At least one. 358,300 house fires happen every year in the United States, according to the United States Fire Administration. Hi, my name is Sean Nichols. My project was to ride along for 35 hours to different departments around the state of New Hampshire. Along that, I would be riding on the ambulance, doing my part, giving vitals, and assessing them in situations. And I would also want to interview every single one of them on why they became a firefighter and talk about my essential question. And my last part was to go to the Bow Middle School and have a presentation on the importance of fire safety and create a fire escape plan. So my essential question, how does teaching children fire prevention and safety prevent safety outcomes? It's a very broad question. You might think you can answer it right now, but it's way more complicated than that. My first part is, before I had to answer my question, I had to research everything I knew about fire. Previous to this presentation, I was in a fire service class, emergency services at CRTC, all about fire prevention and how fires work. I'll elaborate just a little bit. So in order for a fire to grow, you need 3 stages. You need fuel, oxygen, and space. You need all 3 of those to create a fire. If you have no oxygen, you have no fire. If you have no fuel, you have no fire. If you have no space, then there's no space for a fire to grow. There are 5 different types of fires. Ordinary, liquid gases, metallic, electrical, and grease fires. Grease fires are the most common. 49% of all house fires in the United States every year are because of cooking. There are 3 different types of fire extinguishers that I have learned that put out all of these different types of fires. A, B, and C. All of them have a very different, unique ability. Some are just plain water, some of them are carbon dioxide, and others are just foam. So I researched different areas of what are hazards in your home. Because when I thought about it, a lot of stuff in my house were big fire hazards. Things like appliances, kitchen equipment, stoves, gases, microwaves, air fryers, everything like that. Heaters, obviously, since we're in New Hampshire, things get really cold. Have to have that during the winter. Overloaded outlets, having 5 or 6 plugs all completely filled up can cause electrical current, causing a spark, causing everything to engulf in flames. Exposed wires. Obviously, exposed wires means that if you're touching the fabric, it can cause a friction, cause a spark, and cause a fire. Smartphones. Has anyone had one of their smartphones overheat and have to wait for them to use? When things happen there, things turn to smoke and then it combusts. Such as Samsung with their dryers and their washers. There was a big issue with that several years ago. Good ways to prevent fires is just to unplug your stuff when you're done with it. Make sure your stove is off and make sure nothing is really on. And also check your fire detectors, your smoke detectors in your house every 6 months. As it'd be better to test them every 6 months than not use them, and when you really need them, they don't work. So my coach is a captain at the Derry Fire Department, and I spent most of my time there, spending roughly 20 hours there, just doing my patient contacts for my EMT, and just getting some fire experience. So I got to meet a lot of new people, a lot of very smart people who really take their job serious. I got to ask, why would you do this job? There's so many other jobs that you can have fun with, some that pay more, everything. A lot of them have the same exact answer: brotherhood and accomplishment. Fire departments are like big families. They're all close and connected. They all know about their personal lives, their private lives, and they're there to save each other when they need them most. Because if you're going to go into a fire with a chance of dying, you might as well trust the person next to you the most. So then I created my presentation and went to the Bow Middle School to present my findings, through a presentation to the 5th grade science class. The students were very intrigued with what I had to offer, and we had a very big group discussion. It was very collaborative, and I got to hear a lot of information on how they thought fires worked, and just some stuff for them to look out for. A lot of it was just statements, not questions, but they were very, very intrigued. I also like to talk about my fire escape plan, which I will also share with you now. In the case of a fire, it's always good for you guys to stay calm. When the smoke detector is alarmed, you don't want to rush out or something might happen. Before you even leave your room, check underneath your door for smoke or glowing, or also grab your doorknob to see if it's hot. For if you open up your door, you are opening up a lot of oxygen to the fire, which will cause a flashover, which is a very large fire that's very hot to blow over you, killing you. Alert your family of the issue. Just scream really loud. My family is all on the 2nd floor, so we're all within shouting distance, just to make sure that everyone's okay, everyone's awake, everyone knows what's going on. If you can leave, open your door slightly, go through, and crawl low. Fire moves up. So if you live in the basement, the fire will just move up over you and all the way up to the ceiling, which will cause, that's why a lot of fires happen through the roof and crash down, because everything moves up. Make sure everyone leaves. That's more of an adult's job, or you if you can, if you're the adult in the household, by making sure that everyone is out, everyone's safe, dogs, cats, stuff like that. And don't really bother taking anything with you, as your life is more important than the stuff in your home. And also have a nice designated spot outside. For if you can't let everyone know what's happening, just meet outside and let everyone meet there, like a patio or a yard or the bottom of your driveway, stuff like that, your mailbox. In a case of a fire where you cannot leave your room, a good part is to hide in your closet, as that's another barrier between you and the fire. Make noise. First responders love it when you make noise, so they know where you guys are at all times. If you are on the 1st story, try to get out through a window. But if you're on the 2nd story, you can open up the window, alert people that you're there, and the fire department will grab a ladder and grab you guys. So when I talked about this with the middle schoolers, some of them had fire escape plans, but didn't go very deep into that. But I wanted to really emphasize that it's really important that they should have a fire escape plan in their homes. Because fire departments around the state of New Hampshire are kind of far from homes. Some are like 20 minutes away, 15, and that's a really important time, as it takes only 30 seconds for an ember to fully engulf into a fire. At the end of the day, my goal was to create a presentation, and if anyone attended, I would deem it a success. Being able to help my community in any way gives me a sense of purpose and accomplishment. Having information out among the younger population is key to creating a safer future for tomorrow. Any questions?
What's the hardest type of fire to put out?
Hardest type of fire? A gas fire. Because it takes a lot of time just to move everything out of the house to circulate. Because if there's just one spark that goes off, everything can bust.
What was the craziest thing you saw on the ride along?
Ooh, I can share that, but. So I was reported to a car accident in Derry, and this person drove 60 miles an hour, head first into a tree, and miraculously this person didn't break a single bone in their body. But he was fighting me because he didn't want to be helped. Some people. Any other questions?